Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1970s.
Sleep on, my sweet Victoria, for regal claws of noble birds guard well your place of rest. For those poor fools that dare intrude, the penalty is death.
This is episode 125, recorded October 20th, 2020.
Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I am Doc Rotten, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1970 and 1979. Each episode, my co-host Jeff Mohr and I will tackle another classic, or not so classic, film from this wondrous, groovy, gory, and influential decade. Tonight, we are doing Dr. Phibes Rises Again from 1972, if you couldn't figure it out from the thumbnail and the intro. That's what we're doing. But let me introduce my crew here because they are super cool and awesome, and you guys love them very much. Starting off with Jeff Mohr. How you doing, sir?
I don't think I know. Anyway, I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. I'm glad you're good. I'm happy. All right. Also joining us tonight is Bill Mulligan. He's a writer, director, special effects guru, and say it with me, all around.
Nice guy.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing fine because this movie's got my girlfriend in it.
You got your girlfriend, Vincent.
Yeah.
Right?
No!
Fiona Lewis.
A close runner-up.
I love you too, Bill.
Oh, wow, you're right. Carolyn Monroe. You know what? This movie is an embarrassment of riches.
Nice. All right. Also joining us tonight is Chad Hunt, comic artist and co-host of Decades of Horror Classic Era, and director, filmmaker. He is an actor. He is all that and more. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It is. I'm glad you're here. Why don't you, real quick, we're going to digress just for a second. Because I said, now you're a director. Fill us in. What does that mean, sir?
Well, as of this very moment, I'm a director. No.
So you have a short film and it's playing at Wreak Havoc. What is it?
Got a short film playing at Wreak Havoc Film Festival, which as of this recording takes place Wednesday, the 21st and 22nd, Thursday. And the film's called Chatterbox, and it's just a 6-minute long film. Basically, it's what it's like to be the friend of Sammy Castle.
Ooh.
Oh no!
I think we all know that feeling, but
yeah. It's got a little humor to it. It's got some scares, too, and a little more tension points in there too. So it's a good little film. The Wreak Havoc guys have done a great job. Zach Fox did the cinematography, and he always makes everything look fantastic. And and they let me have free reign of the movie. So,
well,
did
sir,
you go a whole hog? Did you wear like an Angora sweater and have a megaphone?
Well, I did. I had the megaphone, and I was yelling at people that really didn't need to be yelled at, and
cursing like a sailor,
just cursing up a storm, belittling everybody. It was a fun time.
Awesome
for me.
Well, Chad, congratulations and
thank you.
All
right.
That's very cool.
Yeah, tonight though, we are talking about Dr. Phibes Rises Again from 1972. A vengeful doctor rises again, seeking the scrolls of life in an attempt to resurrect his deceased wife. Yes, that's what it is. Let's take a look at the little box that Bill made for me. Came out July 1972, directed by Robert Fuest. Writers are Robert Blees and Robert Fuest. And the cast includes Vincent Price, Robert Quarry, Peter Jeffrey, Peter Cushing, Valli, Kemp, Fiona Lewis, among others. The tagline, flesh crawls, blood curdles, Phibes lives. And then I already read the synopsis there for you. So that's one of the many posters for this, and that's the one that's the creepiest because is that a beetle or a spider? I don't know. I don't care. It's icky either way.
And it's not in the movie.
No,
but
well, why wouldn't we let that stop?
But it does capture the vibe pretty well.
The vibe. The five.
That's Phibes.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered the Abominable Dr. Phibes, which came out the year before, and it is one of I think wasn't it Vincent Price's 100th film? That one?
No, they said it was, but it really wasn't. That was a good tagline.
Yeah, it's a good tagline.
It was a marketing deal.
Well, we're just going to let them have it anyway. But it's Dr. Phibes is one of my favorite characters he portrays, even though he only got to play him twice. It's still just the whole look and feel of it. Visually from the old magazines was something that resonated and stuck with me. And then, of course, when you see it and all the Art Deco and everything and the dialogue, and it sticks with you. And now we have the sequel in 72, and Phibes does exactly what the title says. He rises again, and off he goes with the scrolls of life. Oh man, he's given Robert Quarry a run for his money.
On and off the movie.
On and off camera. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, Darius Biederbeck is the character, and they both have the same goal in mind, and which is interesting because instead of a good guy, bad guy, what we really have is two bad guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
we still got
Marvel supervillain team up.
Yeah. I mean,
sort of. I mean, Biederbeck isn't really that bad. He's a cold fish. He doesn't care about people. He's kind of single-minded, but the clock's ticking.
He's not necessarily presented as a good guy though either.
No.
And he's not killing people right and left, but he doesn't really care when they are. Right.
No, not at all. Not at all. And then he, puts Fiona Lewis in harm's way, and that's never good. Never a good thing to do. All right. So what we do here is we kind of give our first impressions. When did we first see this, and what do we think of it? And then we're going to chat about this for a good long time, and then we're going to wrap things up. And I think we have some feedback there.
We
Bill.
do.
Oh no, you changed your name, and that makes everything frightening. There, Bill.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, this is taking a horrible turn.
Oh no.
I was just waiting. I'll go back.
All right. So
not that I could
teddy bear
handle
you.
Bill anyway.
Yeah, right.
So Bill, this film was your choice. So I'm going to let you go first. When did you first see this, and what was your first impression?
And I can't say exactly what year it was, but I saw this in the theater, and I believe it was a double feature of Dr. Phibes Rises Again and Blood from the Mummy's Tomb.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how old I was, but I was young enough that display, that double dip of female pulchritude left a big impression. And this was my first Dr. Phibes movie, and it remains my favorite of the two. I know that's an unpopular opinion. Almost everyone would say that the first one is vastly superior. I prefer this one, and I think it's largely, it's two reasons. One, it's the first one I saw. And two, there's a hell of a lot more Phibes in this one. He's front and center. He's the first thing you see and the last thing you see. And when I finally got to see the original Dr. Phibes, I was kind of a little, it's well constructed, but I knew who I was there for. And it's like an hour in the movie before I got to see him. It seemed, but of course that's not the way you're supposed to see the movie. You're supposed to watch the first one, then the sequel. Whatever. I love this movie. I love the Art Deco. I love the kills. This was Saw before there was Saw. The idea of a super villain anti-hero, but really he's kind of the hero. Like, I think you said something that's maybe a problem for the movie, which is, who are we supposed to root for? We root for Dr. Phibes because he's the one who breaks up the monotony. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of people digging in the desert. Not too interesting there. But he comes along, and how's he going to kill this one? How's he going to kill this one? And you kind of gloss over the fact that the people he's killing don't really deserve to be killed. So morally, this movie is kind of problematic. But, I don't care. It's a supervillain movie.
Well, that's what kind of happened in the 70s, right? They kind of presented the bad guy as the character he followed. Look at Blackula, look at
right.
Robert Quarry's other films.
in the first movie, Phibes, although he is a villain, he's abominable. In his mind, he's a hero. He is avenging these people who killed his wife. Now, realistically, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I'm sure they tried their hardest. They just weren't able, stuff happens. So he's wrong for doing that, but his motivations are understandable, especially if the woman in question is Carolyn Monroe. I'd lose my shit too if I were married to her and the doctors weren't able to save her. Of course you would. Who wouldn't? But in this one, he just kills them because, he's got these cool contraptions and he's always wanted to try this trick with the scorpions. And, here's another guy I'm going to kill. I'm not even going to kill the main one. If he killed Biederbeck, game over. The rest would just run home. They wouldn't even stick around. But no, he's going to kill the porter and this guy and this guy and this guy until work his way up to the top.
Yeah, he even says in the dialogue, right? He even says, even Biederbeck if I have to, if it comes to
that. Which is interesting. I feel like something got cut. Like these guys have a history and we don't know what it is. But you know what? This movie does not feel obligated to explain a single damn thing. If anyone can explain Vulnavia to me, I would greatly appreciate it because none of it makes sense. I don't care, but none of it makes sense.
Yeah,
and I love this movie.
And how did somebody get there before him and put all this stuff that was in the hold of the ship in the place where he was ending up? Oh man,
because
whatever.
Reasons.
Yeah, because script.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out what the rest of the crew thinks. Starting off with Chad Hunt, sir.
I am a big Phibes fan, and I saw this one on the CBS late night movie.
Yeah, the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just was such a big fan of the first one, and I didn't get to see Phibes Rises Again for quite a while after I saw the first one. And it just almost like it just picked up right where the last one left off with all the over-the-top kills and Vincent Price eating and drinking through the tube in the back of his in the side of his neck and just craziness.
Yeah, and this one doesn't he choke on a
love
bone?
it. Did he?
Hey, was it this one he chokes on a bone? He reaches back and pulls it out.
Yeah. The fishbone. Yeah. So it was just and little comedic touches like that. I loved and like Bill said, it was Saw before Saw came along. With all the inventive kills and stuff like that, and even before slasher movies came along, and the name of the game there was creative kills, and inventive ways to kill people. The gag was the thing. But not only that, but just Phibes himself, just Vincent Price at his hammiest and corniest. And I just love that. I love it. He's had his serious roles that I love too, but I think Phibes is one of my favorite characters that he's ever done. And I was so glad to see Peter Cushing in this, even if it wasn't for very long. It was just very cool to see him show up in this, and like I said, just a great movie, and it still holds up today. I still laugh out loud at it, and there's some of those kills that I have no idea what was going on, like the guy sitting in the truck that looked like he got sandblasted. I'm not sure what that kill was, but that's pretty much what it was. And he comes riding back into camp like with no skin or any internal organs.
His dying breath as a skeleton.
Yeah. So I love these movies. I really do, and just watching them again is just a treat. I still love them.
Yeah. I remember getting these monster cards in the 70s, and they had a couple of the kills from these films. They had the one that you referenced where the officers are looking in and see the skeleton there, and then they also had the one with the grasshoppers or locusts. I guess it was locusts from the first one, right?
Right.
Yeah. Fun stuff. All right, Jeff Mohr, you're up next, sir. When did you first see this, and what'd you think? Jeffy Boy.
I don't know when the first time I saw it, and I'm pretty sure it was on TV. But it's I saw these in order, and I maybe that's just the way it is. I like the first one a lot better. I think it's more colorful. The colors are more brilliant. The Art Deco stuff is just more elaborate to me. And two other reasons I like the first one better. The first one is I just can't get into Vincent Price talking as much as he does in the second one after watching the first one. I'm just like going, geez, he talks a lot for a guy who doesn't have a voice. And how does he, what did he have, a little portable thing that he's carrying around? Maybe I missed that, but
sometimes it's a tuba.
What's he plugged into? Yeah, I saw the tuba part. And the other one is I like the Vulnavia in the first one a lot better. And that might seem weird because she doesn't say anything, but I just thought she was much more she was much smoother, much more elegant. Whereas this, and she's what is her
Virginia
name?
Virginia
North. Yeah. So Valli Kemp, I didn't think was as good. But she's sufficient. So having said that, yeah, I like this. I like this movie a lot. Again, I like the first one better because it does explain everything. I mean, there's reasons for all the kills, not reasons for the methods of the kills, but reasons for all the kills. Whereas in this one, as Bill said, you don't really know why is he killing all these people. I don't know, because it's cool and it's fun, I guess. I don't. I like the kills, but I think I like the ones in the first one better. I should talk more about this one. Love that we got to see Cushing again, and geez, I just and the guy that plays the like chief of police, is it Cater? Paul Cater, is it? You know who I'm talking about? Not Trout, but the guy. He's hilarious. Jonathan Cater. Sorry. Who is in Captain Kronos, I believe.
Right. Right.
I thought he was great, and I think what they did is they figured out he was in that he was kind of a good spot for the Abominable Dr. Phibes, so they gave him a lot more in this one. Mm-hmm. And Trout too. The two of them kind of play off each other. They're sort of a comedy duo in this one.
Typical useless English cops in a horror movie.
Yeah, but some great dialogue between them.
There is, and that's where that line is. I don't think I know.
I don't think you know either.
I don't think I know. Anyway, there was a lot of lines like that.
Yeah.
So, yes, I like the first one better, but this is good. This is definitely worth watching. It's Phibes. It's got some great kills. There is a lot of cool Art Deco stuff. It doesn't really seem to spell it all out. They give me the reasons and the motives like the other one did for me anyway. Because he's killing the guys that killed his wife, right?
Yeah.
Or did not save her. Nine times. Right?
Yes. Killed 9, I killed 9 or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, this is good stuff. It's Vincent Price. He does get to talk a lot more, but it's sort of like, I don't know. I sort of feel sorry for him having to make his throat go up and down all the time. Trying to make it look like he's talking out of that thing. It just,
but I like that. I like that struggle. That almost like it's painful for him to speak, and I really think. I mean, I know this is over the top, and yet I don't find this role to be as hammy as he's often accused of being, because he's doing so much just with his eyes and able to convey this rage and insanity with, just the. Yeah, I think it's just a really cool.
A lot more dramatic monologues.
Yes,
Shakespearean type monologues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His dialogue is so cool. It's so Shakespearean. It's so what is he? Is he a revenant? He doesn't seem like he's a human being. But what is he? But then what is anything? I get to this. I think one of the reasons I guess one of the things I like about this also over the first one is that they clearly go into the supernatural here. I felt like Vulnavia in the first one was like a hypnotized woman, or some people say she was an animatronic, although she's way, way better than the rest of the ones he builds. But in this one, she's clearly something supernatural, an angel, a demon, a muse. I mean, she comes from another dimension. She does her thing, and she goes back to the dimension from whence she came, and there's no questioning about it. So that element, as crazy it is, the crazy supernatural elements here help me suspend my disbelief, because the first one, it's like, how could you do all this? I mean, how could you do any of this? The guy goes away from his Jeep for 5 minutes, and somehow Phibes rigs up his keys so that it blows sand into his face. You couldn't pump up a tire in that amount of time.
He thinks ahead.
Yeah. He's good at everything.
He is. It's Phibes. So this is interesting because the images of Phibes stuck with me so much in the 70s because of famous monsters and the books. I don't know if you remember those big coffee books you would get, coffee table books that about, and they would just have these great full page pictures of Phibes. Maybe he's kissing that girl, that the picture where
I know exactly the book you had, Doc.
Oh yeah,
is the big green one?
There was that one. There was a number of them. There was a couple, but those pictures, just the whole idea, just stuck with me, and I was like, I got to see this. And then the famous monster covers, right? And I didn't see it when it was in theaters or in drive-ins, but I finally saw it on. I spent a summer back up in DC in 84. And that summer, they played it on a Saturday on Channel 20, a double feature with Bomb Dr. Phibes followed by Dr. Phibes Rise Again. And I was thrilled. I was like glued to the I could have been doing anything I wanted in DC, but no, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch these two movies back.
Good choice.
Back. And oh my God, it was such a thrill. I was so happy to finally get to see these films. And I've owned various incarnations of them over the I think there's a Midnight Marquee version of it that's really cool, but the Blu-ray of course is the best one to get, and this really is I really love these films. I do favor the second one. I like Dr. Phibes Rise Again. I like it because of the adversary, because it's a little bit more clear cut for me, not necessarily, Joseph Cotton. Joseph Cotton just didn't really do it for me, right? So it just, whoopie-doo, right? But Robert Quarry, on the other hand, definitely did. And there seemed to be, he seemed to be an equal to Phibes in a lot of ways, even though, Phibes outsmarts him in the end. Spoilers. He, I just really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the fact that, okay, so there's other movies very much like Phibes. Phibes, I probably started it, but where this crazy bad guy is getting revenge, right, because of something. Even Theater of Death is similar, right? Madhouse in a way, and then dozens of others. So this one is more like there's a different goal, right? The goal is I've got to get to this river that's only going to be here every X amount of years, and it's a race, right? And for me, it's that approach to this character and that storyline that resonates better for me, and I really like it. The kills, like you, if you go and look at the original, the kills are a little bit more inventive, but at the same time they're a little more fun here, right? There's like the whole guy at the beginning with the funk, it's just like there's some fun things going on. The bottle, come on, the guy in the bottle.
That is a good thing. Hugh Griffith has a bigger part in this one, which he's worth watching.
Yeah. And we get to see Terry Thomas again, playing a different character.
Back from the dead.
Yeah, playing a totally different character. Who cares?
Yeah.
Peter Cushing, you want to see him more. I didn't realize that Peter Cushing, or maybe I did and I totally forgot it, but he was supposed to be Joseph Cotton's role in the first one.
Right.
Yeah. I think we probably said that.
I think we talked about that. Yeah. I think that would have made him a more credible adversary.
Wouldn't it?
I think it was because of his wife was in.
So that's why he came back for this one and did the cameo, and he's great. He comes walking in the room, has a couple of the things. He's kind of charming and funny, and out he goes, and you're like, is that it? Is that it? Damn it! Come on, more. So I don't know. I I don't
Doesn't
care.
doesn't it kill you when there's a movie that has two icons in it and they never meet?
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, this movie's got John Carradine and Peter Cushing, but they filmed on different days. And,
yeah, happens a lot. Happens a lot. Man, but I love the 5 movies, and I just want to take them as a pair. I like them together.
Yeah.
I just always wish there had been a third or some others. I mean, they're looking at this like they were thinking to have Count Yorga go up against them. That would have been
interesting.
And then there was an actual third film plotted out one time.
Phibes Resurrectus.
Yeah.
Which is a cool title.
Yeah.
And he was going to fight Nazis, which would have been really cool.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
Yeah, because, at that point, you'd be totally just cheering him on. Oh, look, he killed a bunch of Nazis in a horrible way. Go, Phibes. Go.
Oh, my God. Resurrectus.
Well, they were obviously leaving it open, right?
The Brides of Dr. Phibes, the 7 Fates of Dr. Phibes. I wish there was more. I wish there was more. This kills me. But let's talk about. Let's go to Bill. You made some great graphics here, so let's go through some of them and talk about Robert Fuest here, who is the director of this, and of course, Abominable Dr. Phibes, and a few other favorites of mine. I love Devil's Reign.
So do I.
I love that film.
Mm-hmm.
It is so oddly put together, but
I have to confess I haven't seen Devil's Reign. It's one of those ones I know. Now, don't yell at me. It's on Shudder now, I believe, so I can rectify that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Good time to do it.
It is, and it's one of his greatest roles. For me, I love it.
You know what? Halloween is a wash this year, so I'm dedicated. I'm going to take the entire day and watch nothing but horror. Horror movies. And that'll be on the list, and I'll blog about it or something. But The Last Days of Man on Earth is one of the most insano films ever put together. It's very clearly from the guy who made Dr. Phibes.
The future is canceled.
It's so weird. It is so weird.
Have you ever seen And Soon to Darkness? Because I haven't. I've been wanting to see that, but I haven't seen it.
That one kind of stands out among these as being a more traditional thriller. It's a good little, kind of English slasher, people in peril movie. It doesn't really give you the sense that you get from the rest of his films, which is that he's like a certifiable madman. Just lots and lots of style, and he also directed, no surprise, a bunch of episodes of the Avengers.
He did. Oh wow!
You could draw a straight line from those to the Phibes movies.
Yeah, he definitely has a British sense of humor to him, doesn't he? But I these 3 films, Dr. Phibes, Abominable Dr. Phibes, Dr. Phibes Rises Again, and Devil's Reign, are some of my favorite films from the 70s. Really love all 3 of them. Maybe Devil's Reign just a hair bit more. Isn't that crazy? I
just want to say, if the Last Days of Man on Earth is a film that builds to a shock surprise ending, unless you look at the poster. Who are the marketing imbeciles who do these things? I just unbelievable.
Same guys who write the taglines, I think.
The stupidity in this industry continues to amaze me. I don't know why it does.
Hilarious. Of course, Vincent Price.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that costume. Look at that.
Which one?
The one on the left.
I can't take my eyes off.
That's the one from.
Look at that gorgeous
original,
dress. Yeah. Holy crap! I love that organ too, man.
Yeah, isn't that great? And he makes a reappearance here. I just man, we don't. We actually get far more. We don't get enough of him in the skull. Makeup.
No, we don't.
We get that one shot, right?
Neither of the movies really. That's the advertising thing. That's the thing. The same picture you talked about with him, kissing Vulnavia was such an iconic image, and yet you could probably, if you add up all the scenes of him in that costume, I doubt that it adds up to 30 seconds.
Yeah. But I do love in this film when he's hiding in plain sight.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
Amongst the skulls.
Amongst the skulls. The only thing, giving him away is the eyeballs, right?
Yeah.
Hey, wait.
No.
Yeah, they are laughing. Yes, of course.
What was that? Nothing.
Oh my god! All right, Robert Quarry. I dig him. I really. I mean, they were really priming him to take over, right? As your horror icon. Since
much to Vincent Price's.
Well, apparently he didn't like it, right? Because he would do a couple more and then kind of vanish. What's the last one he did?
There was the Death Master.
Death Master? I don't know if
it
that was the
Sugar Hill?
last one. Sugar Hill, I think, is the last one.
Sugar Hill. What about the Monster Club? Or there was one more that he was in with Vincent Price.
Well, he was in Madhouse.
Oh,
So
maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Madhouse and Sugar Hill were both 74. But after that, he steered away from horror films for the most part. I mean, he would pop in a couple toward the 90s, like Teenage Exorcist,
right?
Some bad movies, but
Edward Scissorhands had a bit part.
Really? Oh, I didn't catch that.
As the inventor.
Yeah, but Sugar Hill, I like him in that. I like him.
Yeah.
But he's really good in this. He
is.
Just shows such promise, right?
Mm-hmm. I liked this performance better than I liked the Count Yorga character, to tell you the truth. He just made such a great foil for Dr. Phibes, I thought, And if there was any tension off screen, it was really it was coming across on screen too. And there was one thing I read about this that made me just love Vincent Price even more, is when and you guys probably know what I'm gonna say.
Right.
But the Robert Quarry came in and he was singing some song and this and that, and he said to Vincent Price, "I bet you didn't know that I was a singer, did you?" And he goes, "Well, I knew you couldn't fucking act."
Oh, that's harsh.
It was harsh but hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my
It was
god.
harsh but hilarious. I was laughing so hard when I read about that.
Yeah, Vincent could be bitchy when he wanted to, Yeah, and apparently a lot of this was because somebody stupidly told Vincent Price, "Oh, I hear this is the guy they're grooming to replace you."
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, why would you do that? It's unfortunate. I saw an interview with him, or read an interview where he was talking about, he acknowledged there was no great love lost between them, but that they had a conversation at some point. We're talking about some old movies that Vincent had made, and he was asking about the actors there, and they just got to talking, and Quarry was like, "I really think we could have been good friends." That they shared a love for these old movies and cooking and all these things. They shared a lot of interests, but because of the circumstances, it just wasn't going to happen, and he had some regrets about that. That's really a shame. But Hollywood's a pretty dog-eat-dog place, and telling an actor who's getting on in years, and maybe the roles are few and far between, and it's all you could just lose it all, and telling someone this is the guy who's going to replace you. Yeah,
nobody likes that. Nobody likes that.
Right.
All right, let's talk about Fiona Lewis.
Rower.
Yes. She's great in this, and I hate that IMDb puts her listing at the very bottom. That is so disrespectful. But she is a great mainstay of the 70s and into the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was. We talked beforehand how she was in Dan Curtis's Dracula that starred Jack Palance.
That's right. Yeah, I remember her from The Fury, which we have pictured here.
Yeah, that's a brutal role, but she was great in it.
Well, yes, she was great in it. Inner Space, of course. Lithomania,
that is one of the worst movies ever made. Ever made by a talented. Roger Daltrey, directed by why am I drawing a blank here? Good God, the guy who did Tommy, the guy who did I'm losing my brain cells. But a great director who was capable of making absolute garbage, and this was is one of
the
them.
garbage
Oh,
one.
Oh, Ken Russell.
indescribably bad. Ken Russell. There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
Ken
Russell made some great movies, and he made Listomania.
Land of White Worm.
He does make some crap too, so let's give it to him. Because he experiments, right? And then sometimes
I think he experiments with drugs.
Well, that might be true too. That might be true too. Oh man! So I think the rest of the picks are you have like a whole bunch of them with Valli Kemp.
I do. Oh well, isn't that strange? Oh, huh. Funny how that worked out.
Oh, I was reading that Vincent Price it's actually in the movie. He mispronounces it one time. He pronounces it Vulnavia.
Vulnavia.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't name your daughters Vulnavia, but it's a great name. It's so odd and weird.
Well, it's hard to pronunciate with your throat.
Yeah.
There you go.
It sounds like it might be dirty, but it really isn't. And
well, it sounds like what Bill brought up before. It could be a demon name or
it does. Like that, yeah. See, I preferred her over Virginia North again because your first Vulnavia is the one you love. But I just find she has this innocent quality here. And you could say, well, she can't act. And who can tell from this role? Because she's sort of meant to be kind of a blank slate that you can see anything on her. But for me, looking at that, like this picture right here on the lower right, that there's this affection for Phibes, but you're like, what kind of affection is it? Is it a lover's affection? Is this like a substitute for his wife? Is she some sort of goddess who's giving favor to this human because of his, worshiping the ancient gods? I don't know. You could write a whole bunch of stories on what Vulnavia is, and all of them could be interesting, even if they all contradict each other. Every movie should be a completely different story of where Vulnavia comes from. No. She's just, is she, and you almost start thinking, is she something Phibes just creates?
Mm-hmm.
Is she even real? Yeah, I guess she is, because she seduces guys and puts them in scorpion chairs, which, by the way, freaked me the hell out. That scene right there. Oh my
Scorpion?
God. Yeah. Scorpions are scary under any circumstance.
Bill, you need to do a Vulnavia Lives On script or something.
There you go. The Return of Vulnavia. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, Valerie Kemp is still alive, and she does artwork. She apparently and Vincent Price, who's an art connoisseur, art critic, great art collector, she mentioned that, and he looked at her art and was quite impressed and very sweet about it. Got her a showing, and she makes and sells art now. Many of it Phibes themed. So
nice.
I'm just saying, my birthday's coming up in a few months.
There you go. Gift ideas.
All
right. Well, there are other cast members that we don't have pictures of. We have Hugh Griffith plays Harry Ambrose. That's the guy in the bottle. Mm-hmm. We do have a brief picture of him. It's the guy here on the top right with Robert Quarry.
Well, and he was in wasn't he in the Screaming Starts? And now the Screaming Starts. He was in another film we just did, and he won an Oscar for Spartacus.
Oh no,
he was in Ben-Hur.
Cry of the Banshee.
Ben-Hur. Was
Cry of the Banshee. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And I would not have recognized him from this, but then I don't recognize people, so.
Very distinctive looking gentleman,
yeah,
with the eyebrows and the beard.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think we mentioned Trout and Waverly, Peter Jeffrey and John Cater, and they are so much fun in this.
They are.
When they're in the office and the one Terry Thomas comes in, and the dialogue there is just like when he's at the door getting ready to say goodbye, and Terry Thomas says something and it catches his attention. He goes poof, shuts the door. Goes, wait a minute, and Waver's like, no, let him go, and it's like, no, I gotta. Yeah, and then the lady, who is the lady that Beryl Reed?
She's a hoot and a half. Why is she only
Ambrose's wife? Yeah.
She's hysterical.
I'm sure. I think she is somebody that in the UK probably. I would imagine there's some fans across the pond there that would know who they are.
She plays that like someone famous who's been given a cameo role for giggles and going to town on it.
Right.
I'd watch a TV series with Trout and Waverly bumbling their way through Britain solving mysteries.
And
they're terrible at their job. But, what chance do they really have? To the point where, at no point in this movie was I afraid that Phibes was going to kill them.
Yeah.
Because that would be like crushing a baby bird that fell out of a nest. I mean, what would be the point of killing these guys? They are no threat to him whatsoever.
Okay, hold on. Beryl Reed was in the Death Wheelers.
Was she the
Mrs. Latham?
Wheelers?
Yeah.
Huh.
She's not the mom, right? No.
No, I think she's one of the. She's Mrs. Latham, so yeah, I think she is.
She's the mom.
Because Nikki Henson is Tom Latham. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Death Wheelers. Psychomania to a lot of people.
That's right.
You guys are questioning what the hell are you talking about?
Was the Death Wheelers? Oh, he's using the fancy British title.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw her in something else. The Beast in the Cellar. Oh, she's one of the old biddies in the Beast in the Cellar, maybe?
Old biddies. Oh my!
Have you seen the Beast in the Cellar?
No. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
The most disappointing ending of any movie I've seen in my life.
Beast in the Cellar? Really?
Yes. Yeah. It's a pretty good movie. You're like, oh my God, this guy is locked in the cellar. Oh, he must be scary as crap. Oh my God, he's killing people. I wonder what he looks like. He looks like Howard Hughes went right before he died. He's an old guy with a beard and long fingernails.
No.
Womp, womp, womp. Anticlimax. Thy name is Beast in the Cellar.
Yeah, it looks like she was just in a lot of those English, short TV series, miniseries.
Yeah, she's probably really famous. Somebody's going to know, and somebody's going to tell us. Let's talk about the kills, because that's why we watch this, right? There's your scorpion kill at the top. There's the shot of the poor guy got sandblasted, and my favorite one is the phone spike through the ears, just because. Well, look at that expression. Come on. It's literally the guy's expression. Yeah. And the other one is the weird
turn of the screw.
Thing. Yeah, the turn of the screw.
That made no sense whatsoever.
No.
I mean, the way they were scrunching him in there, how did he end up like that? I didn't get that at all.
It doesn't matter.
The phone one got me too.
Tip the box over.
They could have just killed him with the phone, but that's too simple. So instead they make a fake snake. And then when he thinks he's got the fake snake figured out, they have a fake snake, which is a real snake, and bites him with its poisonous anaconda fangs. Okay, science. Yeah. And that makes him run to the phone. So this is like a big elaborate game of mousetrap.
It is, isn't it?
You're exactly right, Bill. That was so cool. The fake snake. It was a real snake that had a little wind-up thing strapped to it. It looked like it was mechanical.
Oh man, the fake snake. Not just the fake snake, but the
real fake snake. The fake real snake.
I mean, that's great, right? That's great.
I'd like to be there when he was explaining this whole thing to Vulnavia, and she's like, "Couldn't you just shoot him?" He's like, "Do you understand me at all?"
Leave my presence.
Yeah.
So there is, of course, one more death that we'll talk about. A little bit of spoilers, because it's the ending of the film of Biederbeck, right before we get somewhere over the rainbow, which is something we should talk about in and of itself. But
Fiona Lewis has the greatest line for that too.
Yeah.
What's that?
After all, it's not the end of the world. as he's getting older and grayer, it's the end of his world.
Yes.
Now, did they ever establish how old he was?
Just centuries. We got centuries is all we got, right?
I could have sworn I heard him say 500 or 600 years.
See, they really should have done more with that, because that makes him an interesting character. He's been around for a long time. Was he an alchemist? What is it? He should be a good foil for Phibes, because Phibes is a brilliant man, but he's only lived, as far as we know, one lifetime. Yeah. And here's a guy who's lived many lifetimes. He should be one step ahead, but he wasn't.
I was going to say,
also explains why he doesn't care about people dying too.
Yeah.
He's seen it a lot.
Yeah, I'm more curious about what we were talking about earlier about, Phibes knew who he was, right? Mm-hmm. So nobody else did, but Phibes did. So it feels like there's there's a secret society kind of connection somewhere out there that he could be a part of.
Yeah,
That they're all, so there could be a long list of foils for them.
I had a definite feeling like the Seinfeld show with Newman, only it was Biederbeck.
Biederbeck.
And then when he meets him, finally we meet Biederbeck.
Oh, it was great. And they're just trying to one up each other, and they kind of do and kind of don't. It's so you really could keep that kind of theme going. Really, there could be some fun with that.
Yeah. And they're kind of inverse relations. I mean, despite the fact that Biederbeck doesn't seem to care about anyone dying, it's his love for his wife, his genuine love for this, or his fiance, I guess, that dooms him in the end. That he goes back for her when he didn't need to. So that's interesting. And why her? Why, clearly, again, someone who doesn't give a rat's patootie about anyone else, but for this one woman, he's willing to risk it all. And that makes him kind of a tragic figure. I think they could have done more with him. This movie, I wouldn't have minded another 15 minutes of a little character development to sort of fill in some of the gaps here. But maybe it's the weirdness of it that allows us to fill in our own gaps, and is one of the reasons why this movie still resonates with me. I'm back to being how 13 or 14, whatever it was that I watched this movie when I'm watching it again.
It holds up so well. It really holds up well.
Still so much fun.
I want to pose one last question before we wrap things up, because we also have some feedback that you guys want to stick around for. And I probably asked this when we did Abominable as well, but could they remake Phibes today? Could we can somebody else portray Phibes, and can we do that?
It would all hinge on that. Who would play Phibes?
Right.
And be able to live up to that performance,
I almost feel like they'd have to do a Vincent Price imitation, like they did on House on Haunted Hill or 13 Go.
With Jeffrey Rush,
probably the way they would do it. Yeah.
And I think it's hard to do Vincent Price without getting campy.
Ironically, Jeffrey Rush could do it. Because look at what he did in Pirates. I mean,
that's true. Now, they were talking about Tim Burton doing this movie with Johnny Depp. And I don't hate that idea as much as most people hate that idea, but I'm not crazy about the idea either.
Yeah,
I just have people say this movie is campy. And it is to a degree, but it's a campiness with a touch of mean-spiritedness that is an interesting balancing act. And I just feel like when I don't, you almost wonder how campy were the filmmakers trying to go for. They were really dancing on the edge here. Whereas if you go into a movie saying we're going to make it campy, it's always just totally over the top, So I have a feeling, yes, it could be remade, and I don't think it'll be very good, but I would be happy to be wrong. I would hope you'd be wrong too. I would like to see this character revived.
The whole concept of him, living on, even though he has no skin, he has to put it on, and the whole idea of him was just creepy and fun.
Yeah.
But a big part of that is because it's Vincent Price, right?
Right.
I mean, look at this. Right? We go back here. Look at that. Look at him up there at the top right. Right. In the chic outfit. I mean, that is awesome, right? Come on, that's what you want with your Vincent Price. Like Theater of Death kind of plays on that costuming as well. Yeah. And we need to do that one at some point.
Is it Theater of Death or Theater of Blood? It's been so long since I saw it.
Theater of Blood. They're both out there somewhere. And then,
that's the British title.
Yeah. And then you got Madhouse, which is also fun. And that does have he does get to play alongside Cushing in that one. So
yeah.
That one also has a great,
the three of them,
that also has that's right. And that also has a great cover on Famous Monsters.
I still feel like we were robbed of the opportunity to have a really great movie with the icons, Lee, Cushing, and Price together in a movie that was good and not just something you watch with a little bit of affection because there are three guys in it, but a really well-made movie with those people. You couldn't go wrong. But
we got that one film. We got that one in 1980 or 81. But
is that House of Long Shadows?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it isn't very good, but it's a little bit more charming nowadays because of what it is.
Right.
Weren't they all in Monster Club or something together?
No, not all of them. Not all of them.
Okay.
No. Yeah. So, all right. Let's wrap this up because we got more to do. So,
do we want to mention Somewhere Over the Rainbow?
Let's do that. Let's do that instead of giving our final thoughts because I think we all love it,
Yeah,
right?
we all love this movie.
Yeah. So let's talk about Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Go ahead, Bill.
This is one of my favorite versions of that song. It is so lush and the cymbals crashing and everything else. And you have Vincent Price singing the first line or so. When I saw this at the theater, it was so weird. It was so like the most unexpected thing in this movie was all of a sudden Phibes singing Over the Rainbow. It seems so right and so weird. And yet for years, I thought I was never going to see it again because when they released it initially on videotape, I watch it. I'm like, watch this part. I was telling my ex-wife, watch this part. And it's like, there's nothing. There's no song. It's like, did I imagine that? Did I hallucinate it? They had removed it for copyright reasons or whatever. In fact, I think they replaced the entire soundtrack, the entire musical soundtrack, and it was dreadful. But thank God at some point the original came back.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it finally aged out of all that nonsense. But yeah, I remember, very clearly seeing that as part of it, and when I saw it, and then at some point, I think it was on was it VHS? It was the VHS one that didn't have it, right? And I was like, oh man, it takes away from it. There's something special about that, having that included at the end of it. It's an interesting twist on that song. And how
one of the trivia things I was reading about it too was the time this movie takes place. That song wasn't written until years later.
It was written by Phibes.
Yeah. So it was
well, kind of like the song in the first one that was the One More for the Road song. That was written later than.
Dr. Phibes was a musical, professor, genius, whatever. Maybe he wrote these things and just, other people put their names on it.
Or Vulnavia is a muse beyond time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Just brings.
Are they all stole it from Bix Biederbeck? Born in Davenport, Iowa. I just
no.
Where else have you ever heard the name Biederbeck? It had to be under him.
Nowhere.
This one film. All right, there you go. That's a review of Dr. Phibes Rise Again, 1972. You love it. Go watch it and let us know what you think. And while you're at it, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you can get notified for more, and let us know what you think of this. Let us know what you think of Vincent Price in the 70s. We mentioned a couple other films. Is there anything else we need to kind of throw in there to discuss and make sure we include? I know there's I think there's a night gallery appearance or two that's worth mentioning. He did, right? Didn't he play the devil in one of those? Or am I making that shit up? I stumped the crew.
That sounds made up.
Yeah.
I think I might have made that shit up.
That sounds made up. It sounds homemade.
I'm getting old and shit's starting to get, kind of blended together. All right, we've got some feedback, and we love our feedback. And there's a variety of ways to give us feedback. The comments down below is one. You can also reach out through the site, and one of our favorite people have done so. Right, Jeff? And let us know who it is and what they had to say.
Yeah. Well, first though, I have to give credit where due because Price was in 2 episodes of Night Gallery.
I knew that, but I don't know if he played the devil.
All right. So this is from Alistair Hughes in New Zealand, the author of the Hammer Infogothic movie or book that's available at Amazon. Alistair writes about episode 123, and now the screaming starts. Dearly beloved Grue Crew.
Hey, that's us.
Yes.
Wow.
We're getting married.
Sound like this? Yeah, that's just what I was going to start. It just sounded like a church service.
We are gathered here today.
One severed thumbs up. What a wonderful episode. Even with young Stewie Fengriffin's obvious trauma over having to talk to the hand. But it seems the many delights of And Now the Screaming Starts, including Steph and the Cush, he means Stephanie Beacham and with the Cush. Everybody knows.
Oh, we know.
Were adequate compensation. This is an unusual film for me, mostly because it disproves an oversimplified rule, often repeated, not by you guys, of course, when comparing Hammer to Amicus, and that is Hammer only produced period set Gothic horror, while Amicus concentrated on contemporary set anthology films. And Now the Screaming Starts is undoubtedly a Gothic historical, a creepy costume drama relishing in the horror tropes and atmospheric setting of the 18th century. And whatever other faults this film might have, Amicus pulls this off very well. But additionally, the lovely Stephanie Beacham is the nexus point which doubly disproves that Amicus contemporary Hammer historical rule. The previous year, she starred as Cushing's granddaughter in the epically mod, hip, and groovy Dracula AD 1972.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, two double exceptions to the rules, right? And a bonus for me is that perhaps the most undeservedly overlooked of the bevy of beauties from that film, Janet Key, also appears in And Now the Screaming Starts as Bridget the Maid. So beware all those who try to oversimplify the nuances of 1970s Brit horror. We will fight you on the Beachams and we will never surrender.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Nice.
Best wishes and have a happy Halloween, Al.
Oh, happy Halloween!
Halloween.
Alistair's such a cool guy. He is such a cool guy.
Yeah. In fact, well, it'll be already out. By the time you get this, there'll be an episode of Classic Era out with him as a guest host on
Nice.
The Curse of the Werewolf.
Oh,
Hammer film.
Pick.
So.
Well, that's
I can't wait to hear that one. Oh,
Yeah.
So does he have a thick New Zealand accent? Which I don't know what that's supposed to sound like.
Well, let me put it this way: it's very understandable. So I guess thick accent, no.
Yeah.
So not Scottish. That's good.
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Not Scottish. Oh,
Of the New Zealand Scots.
direct all email to Bill.
And Bill will tell you, watch Train Spotting and then argue with me. Go ahead.
Oh, no. We had Kieran Fisher on one episode, and I was having a little trouble.
Oh, yeah, Karen.
He's Scottish. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. Thank you, Al, for that. Thank you, Jeff, for taking the chores to read all that, because you know how I do reading things.
No, he's awesome, and that was such a great piece of feedback.
Yeah.
It was. It always is, actually.
Yes.
So look forward to hearing more. All right.
Where are the rest of you guys? We need comments.
Where are they indeed? No, we get some. And they're awesome.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
All right, Chad.
We promise one of us will read the names and Doc won't read your name. We promise.
Yes.
What?
Actually, I think. No, wait, Doc.
What do you got?
I'm not done dumping on you yet. There's a Google Translate has a new Doc name translator function. Did you know that?
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah.
Doc says this. Oh, and what he means is this. Yeah.
Translate.
I can't say anything at Doc. I actually thought it was Phibes up until when I went to see the movie. I called it Phibes. I'm going to go see Dr. Phibes Rises Again. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So
we all mispronounce things, but we like to give Doc a hard time.
Hibbies.
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 Mrs. Wiggins.
Wiggins.
All right.
Now you can sign up.
We lost like 99% of our answers. All right, let's say good night. Say good night.
Good night, everybody.